What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Falappi YouTube channel. And today we're going to be checking out my new acquisition, the 2008 Toyota Corolla S. Let's get into it, guys. Like I said, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike, and before you sits my 2008 Toyota Corolla S that I recently purchased and saved from going to the auction. So the story behind this car is, obviously I work for the Honda dealer, and someone traded this in, and they traded it in misfiring, and it wouldn't go over 30 miles per hour. So I did the right thing and looked into it, put it up, checked it out, figured out what it needed, and instead of letting them take it to auction and probably not getting too much for it, because half the people that go to auctions don't know anything about cars anyway, I got it for exactly $2,003.42, and I went and paid the $300 to basically fix the thing and make it right. Okay, we got some more information here for you guys. Obviously, this is a 9th gen Corolla that we're talking about today. It came into the U.S. in January 2002 for the 2003 model year. Obviously, you can pause the video and read all this if you want. But anyway, basically, 2003 through 2008, 9th gen, you had 3 trim levels to start: CE, LE, S, and then obviously they came out with the XRS later, which had the bigger engine. Obviously, it was also the 1.8 liter, but it was the 2ZZ GE instead of the 1ZZ FE that we have, and it made slightly more horsepower. And obviously, people like those XRSs. There's a lot of things you can do with them, but obviously, we don't have that. We have the S, which has the 1ZZ FE 1.8 liter. And it's good enough for me. Obviously, if you had the CE, that would be the base. Most of them came with manual locks, manual windows, but you could option up to the power, the mid-range LE. It had nicer interior on it, wood grain, the dark face gauges, and some of them had leather seats, some of them didn't. I really want to get that wood grain trim kit out of one of those LEs and put it on my S. The thing I like the most about my S is it has the white gauges on the inside, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, I like that body kit that's on it. But yeah, you could read all this. But yeah, overall, pretty basic car. Not too much going on. But yeah, like I said, we got the 1ZZ FE 1.8. 130 horsepower. Not too bad. You go over here, look at it. Like I said, they put it in everything. They did make a supercharger that you could get for it. I know it was for the 03 and 04. I don't know if it would work on my car or not, but I'm probably not going to put that on there. But you never know. But yeah, they put that 1ZZ FE and everything. The Corolla's got it. They put in a RAV4, Chevy Prism, Pontiac Vibe, Toyota Celica, the Matrix. They put a lot of stuff. So it was a pretty pretty widely used engine. And then obviously they they came out with engines later on that were built upon that platform. So even though they discontinued making them at a certain point, they carried over the idea of them for years to come. Anyway, that's about it. You have any more questions about the 9th gen Corolla, obviously you can stop and read this here, or maybe ask in the comments. Maybe there's something I know that I didn't talk about. But yeah, not too bad. So as you can see, she's not too bad of a car. She got some paint issues on the hood. Obviously somebody slammed into something there. It's not very pretty, is what I'm trying to say. That fender needs pulled out on her. But overall, she's a pretty straight car. And then obviously, as you can kind of tell, this spoiler here, yeah, that ain't the correct color. Now is it? It's a black spoiler on the gray Corolla. But I didn't think the matte black looked too bad with the tinted windows. I think I want to put a nice set of black wheels on this car. But I don't want to, I said when I bought it I didn't want to put too much money into it. But I don't know. It's one of those things where it's nice and it runs good the way that it is, so you don't want to put too much money in it. But it's nice, so you want to do things to make it better. So I somewhere have to go ahead and, make that decision. I always liked how these headlights kind of had this like salmon hue to them on these cars. It's kind of hard to tell. I know the lighting's bad. Obviously, this is the S model with the spoiler that has the third in it. There is a third brake light under the tint, but obviously you can't really see that too well because it has a tint on it. Now the tint isn't the greatest job, but I don't think I'm gonna pay to get it fixed or anything because I'm cheap. And the one part about the tint that does bother me, also I bought it inspected until 7 of this year, so I don't got to worry about that. Not that I did anyway, because I am a certified inspector. But the one thing that did kind of bother me is this tint. You can kind of see it, not too well, but you can see it better through here. They had the Tonka sticker on there, so I did the right thing and did the backwoods tint fixing, which equates to sharpieing the hole just so it to the point where you can barely tell from like 10 feet away on the outside. But just too bad for whoever sits back there. Not that I take anyone anywhere anyway. You can kind of tell on camera that those lower trim skirts, and I'm assuming that was from the factory, or a lighter color. Kind of like that two-tone. Obviously these wheels are kind of run through the ringer. I will be pulling that fender. I don't really think it needs replaced. I think if I just pull the bumper off, I can just pull it back out. Same thing with these headlights. These headlights are kind of they're kind of yellow. The grill's kind of falling out, but that's all cheap stuff. I think I found the mesh grill and the black background headlights for like $150, so I might just go ahead and throw the eBay specials in there. Other than that, that's pretty much the outside. We get in here. It's a pretty nice car on the inside. She does have the sunroof, which that thing works. Until you get a sunroof, you never really know how nice they are, because it's like 47 degrees today, so it's kind of cold for the window. But when you open the sunroof, it lets the heat out, but you're not getting too much wind right in the face, so it cools down the inside. I really like these white gauges back here. Like I said, this thing has about 175, actually it just turned over 176,000 miles, and it runs, it runs really well now that I replaced the parts. Maybe after we get done in here, I'll go ahead, open the hood. But someone did go ahead and put the Walmart special dual touchscreen radio in there, but it has Bluetooth, so I'm not super worried about replacing that. The speakers crackle a little bit. I'd show you what I mean, but yeah, copyright. That's held on with the electrical tape, but that's factory. So I might replace that. The Corolla LE or XLE or whatever, the non-sport version, got this nice wood trim that would replace all of this, and then these door panels. So I might go ahead and just buy that. It's like $150 on eBay just to, finish her off and get her that wood trim. But obviously this all works the way that it is. So I like how you have multiple, multiple storage options here. There's a storage cubby here. You got the center console in here that you really can't see in. You got the glove box over there. There's cup holders in the back seats. Back seats pretty nice. So overall, this thing isn't too bad of a car. Especially not for $2,000. But let's, I guess, go ahead and look under the hood, even though there's not a whole lot to see going on over there. And that's the other major thing I like about this car as opposed to my old Civic, is that the old Civic, the hood release was broken, so you had to pop that thing with a pair of pliers. Versus this one works the way that it is supposed to for the most part. So there you go. You got that 16 valve VVTi 1.8 Toyota engine. They put this thing in everything. I think the last year for the 530, last year with a real filter that didn't have to screw on that thing. There was a facelift. For those of you who don't know, they facelifted these, or actually it was the next generation. It wasn't even a facelift. Completely new generation for 2009. A good friend of mine has the 2009 Corolla S, and almost the same color, and I mean it's completely different, but there you could see, you could read that with the 1ZZ FE. This thing, they put this thing in everything. They put it in Chevy Prisms, they put it in the Pontiac Vibe, and then obviously Corolla got it, Celica GT got it. They put it in a lot of stuff. And I mean, for a car from 2008 that has 176,000 miles, it runs pretty good. Now, obviously, you can't see because this has the plastic cover, but, I replaced the valve cover. I replaced all 4 coil packs, and I redid all the spark plugs in this thing because it misfired. Now, it really only needed 1 coil pack, but it's to the point where you got to tear it apart. So while you have everything torn apart, you might as well replace the other 4 coil packs. And while you have the coil packs out, all the plugs were fouled and probably were never changed. So it's one of those things where you go ahead, you put everything back in there, you do it right, and then hopefully, if you're lucky, you never got to tear the thing apart again in the time of ownership. I'd take you back and show you what's in the trunk, but there's nothing in there, and yeah, it's a trunk. There's good cargo space, but I mean, it's just one of those things, There's 10,000 videos of this 2003 to 2008 Corolla, so, I don't have any golf clubs to show you the size, but just realize it's a pretty big trunk, and the seats fold down. So, yeah, go ahead and take a look at that. But other than that, there's your engine bay. Probably needs a power steering flush. Probably could use for brake fluid flush. I bought her completely empty, and now the fluid's just green. So, it's going to need brakes eventually. But they're within PA state regulation, of how many 30 seconds are left on there. And I mean, I'm not going to bother with doing that right yet until it's unsafe or illegal, and it's neither right now. Same thing with the power steering fluid. I mean, it's kind of grody, but I mean, she steers, she ain't whining. Other than that, I did an oil change when I went ahead and did everything, and I mean, everything's pretty good under here. It could use coolant one of these days, but that's another thing. The coolant isn't bad, so everything in due time. But with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead, get saddled up in the car, get you set up on some kind of a stand, and take you on a test drive. And we'll talk a little bit more about, the day-to-day operations of the $2,000 auction Corolla, and maybe some of the plans that I have for this thing going forward, guys. Well, it's going to be the test drive portion of our video here today. Overall, this thing does not drive too bad, especially when you consider the fact that this is 2008. I don't know what's going on here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull out. I don't know how much the government appreciates, filming these videos while driving, but I don't really care. Anyway, as I said, this thing drives pretty good for being a 2008, the 1.8T, or not T, what am I saying? The 1.8 Toyota engine that they put in like absolutely everything. It's not too bad. Sorry for this shaking, but I guess you're gonna have that just because that's how it is. I don't know if there's some kind of stabilization stuff I could use in post, but yeah, we're running the $5 Walmart phone mount for the mirror because that's what I have. But yeah, for a $2,000 car that I had to put $300 worth of parts into in order to make the vehicle run and drive, I mean, it handles pretty good. It needs tie rods to get the alignment even better, but like I can take my hands off the wheel and it tracks straight enough. If I were going to put brand new tires, better wheels on this car, I probably would shell out the money to do the tie rods, and I will eventually, but for what I'm doing right now, it handles fine. I mean, I'm happy with the car. I like it. It's definitely an upgrade from the 91 Civic. Obviously, from the perspective of being, a car guy, there's a lot more fun things you could do with the 91 Civic as compared to this thing. There's less mods. I mean, really, you could mod anything you want, but I mean, at the end of the day, who really wants to do too much? There's not much you can do engine-wise, is what I'm saying. I mean, I could throw wheels on this, and I probably will. Obviously, all the body work issues I showed you, there's some that I might try to fix, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm happy with it. I'm just so surprised that 176,000 miles. As I'm filming this, it's 176,176 actually. But after putting 1,000 miles on this car since buying it, with it having over 176,000 miles, I mean, I'm just surprised at how good it drives. I mean, and I guess that's a testament to Toyota. So I mean, I'll keep changing the oil on time and keep up with the maintenance, and we'll see if we can get her to at least 276,000. But if I can get 100,000 miles out of this thing, that'd be awesome. I mean, I thought I could get 100,000 out of the Civic, and I mean, if I really wanted to, I probably could have. But it's a safer car. It's a more powerful car. It's a more comfortable car, and just overall, for $2,003.42 plus $350 in parts, give or take. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this car. And that's a testament, like I said, to Toyota engineering and all that kind of stuff, and all that kind of all the things you hear. This thing, it's had multiple owners. I know it started its life outside of the state of Pennsylvania because it was only titled in Pennsylvania in 2016. So I mean, that means it spent like 8 years of its life elsewhere. So who knows? I have to wonder if it spent that first 8 years of its life in a state that does not have salt of some kind, because the underneath on this car is very clean. I should have took pictures of it the day that I had it up on the rack when I bought it, because like I said, there is absolutely no rust other than your minimum surface rust. The frame, the unibody isn't rotted out. whoever owned this, I mean, I don't want to say they took great care of it, because, I mean, obviously there's tons of bodywork issues. So, I mean, you know, physically driving it, running it into things or whatever, I mean, maybe it wasn't taken care of so great. But, I mean, mechanically it runs fine, and, you know, nature hasn't taken its toll on this thing too hard. My phone stopped recording in the middle of our nice test drive because I forgot to delete a whole bunch of footage from old videos, and it basically reached capacity. However, there wasn't really too much more meaningful that I had to say anyway. But yeah, overall, really happy with this purchase. There's going to hopefully be some more videos on this car. I know I said I was going to have more videos on our last vehicle, and that just didn't happen. But hopefully there's some things I could do on this car that I could share with you, and you could follow along with me, and we could make it happen. So, as always, you know, thanks for watching the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to keep up with what I'm doing. And yeah, we'll see you next time here on the Mike Falappi YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.